In this video, we're going to be walking through how to start your own hard money lending business, looking at two different strategies and the pros and cons for each. I'm Shane Walton with the Commercial Loan Broker Institute. There are two strategies for launching a hard money lending business. The first is to lend your money. The second is to lend other people's money. So what do I mean by this? Well, lending your money is if you have a surplus of capital, you have some cash sitting there that could be being used more productively, and you decide that you're going to find some borrowers, lend it out, and receive it back with interest. If you're lending other people's money, you are helping those folks to identify their needs, get clear on their strategies, and then to connect in the right way with the right lenders in order to get financing. Now let's look at the pros and cons of each of these strategies. If you're lending your own money, there are some very significant positive parts to that. Number one, you have a lot more control. Your money means you're doing the underwriting. That means you are making the final decisions. You get to determine how much interest is going to be charged. You determine who you lend to and who you don't. You determine your loan to value, how much safety net you have built into each opportunity. You control the shots. The more control is significant. The other big benefit is you get a whole lot more profit for each loan. Right? You are going to be in a position where instead of earning the hard money space, 2%, 4% one time on an amount lent, you're going to instead be receiving 8% to 20% interest on that every single year. So you are in a position to make a whole lot more profit on each and every closed loan. That's a significant benefit of using your own money. However, there are cons. The biggest con is, of course, that you run so much more risk. You are going to be taking your money and putting it on the line. Granted, if you have your deal assessment done properly and you have the right LTV ratios in place, you're going to be minimizing that risk. But nonetheless, you're putting your money on the line, and that's a significant con. Another con is that you have to have the money to invest to get the ball up and rolling. So if you have $1 million in cash to lend out, that limits the size of your portfolio. If you have $10 million, you can do much, much more than you can if you have only one. So the fact it's your money limits the amount of deals, the size of deals that you can be lending on, which can again significantly limit your profit. So it's a con to lending your own money. In addition, you're going to be doing a lot more work with this model. In other words, you're the one doing the due diligence, the risk assessment, the underwriting process. And that means a whole lot more thought, a whole lot more analysis, a whole lot more work on your plate. Let's look at the flip side. What does it look like if you are lending someone else's money? Well, there's again significant pros. The biggest pro perhaps being that you don't have the risk. It's not your money. If the borrower defaults, it's not going to come back on you. You don't lose anything. You get paid either way, right? So you've cut your risk. In addition, you cut down the amount of time that you need to invest in each loan very significantly. In other words, if you are not the one doing the underwriting, every hour that you don't have to spend on deal analysis and underwriting is another hour you can spend on generating new opportunities, on marketing, on working with prospective clients. And that means that you're positioned to do many more deals. In addition, another big pro of lending other people's money is that you are not limited by the amount of capital that you currently have available. In other words, you are leveraging someone else's money, and if you happen to max out all of the capital in that firm, that lender, you can move on to another lender and another lender and another lender. That means that you can, for all practical intents and purposes, do an unlimited number of loans, which again is a very significant pro. The cons to it are, of course, that number one, you are going to be making less commission, less profit for each individual loan. You're going to be making maybe as low as 1.5 points, maybe 4 points on each deal that you are funding. Because of that, you're going to need to make an equal profit. You're going to need to do a larger volume. The other key thing to consider is that you don't have as much control. When it's your own money, you're calling your own shots, you get to decide who you do and who you don't approve. If you are working with other lenders, they are the ones who make the final underwriting decisions. Because of this, they are the ones who will say yes or no in the end, and you might not be able to serve clients who you really think are deserving of a loan and are very safe bets as borrowers. So with both of these strategies, there are significant pros and cons. And it's up to you in launching your brokerage to decide which is the best path for you. We do see a number of the brokerages that are going through our institute, the Commercial Loan Broker Institute, starting off lending other people's money, working as commercial loan brokers and not working as direct lenders lending their own money. However, we see them then evolving from working as a broker, starting their own brokerage, growing it, staffing it, getting their war chest in place, all of their reserve funds from all of the deals they're closing, and then, in addition to continuing that, taking the funds that they have generated and starting out as direct lenders, where they are in a great position because the borrowers that they like the most, they can take right off of the top and fund with their own money, and the borrowers who are not the perfect fit, are not exactly the ones that they believe in, that they trust as much, or they're just not a fit for their risk analysis, they then can still broker. So it gives you the best of both worlds when you take that evolution, right? And you also don't need to start with tons of your own money because you are going to start off by lending others and then build up your reserve for lending. So what is the process? Well, regardless of which approach you take, whether you become a direct lender immediately or a loan broker immediately, you're going to be going through a relatively similar launch process. The first step is going to be identifying your niche. Where is it that you are going to have the competitive advantage in the marketplace? Who's the ideal client that you want to serve? The ideal target for your brokerage or your lending company. And as you're starting your hard money lending business, you're going to be, after you identify your niche, moving into the branding process. You're going to be saying, with that targeted market, with that audience, what are they going to react to best? What name for your company or your corporation are they going to find the most enticing? You're going to select your name, and then you're going to move on to form your entity. That's where you're going ahead and you're getting your EIN, you're setting up your LLC or C Corp or S Corp with your state, Secretary of State, where you're doing all of the legal steps to get your business up and running. This, depending on the model and the state you're located in, may also have certain licensing steps involved in the process. You're then going to go ahead and set up the brand, the corporate identity, the face of the company. That's where you're going to be developing your logo, your website, and perhaps most importantly, your messaging. What are you going to say? How are you going to present yourself in this competitive marketplace? When you're starting your hard money lending business, what is it that you stand for and how do you work differently from anyone else in the marketplace? Getting clear on that is critical to creating the correct corporate identity or the correct company brand that is going to resonate with your niche. Up next, you're going to want to set up your tools for running your business. Now that will differ depending on which approach you take to launching your hard money lending business. You are going to be setting up, of course, the agreements and the contracts that you're going to be using with clients. Either way, you're going to need to set up your marketing tools, the PDFs if somebody asks you for more information that you send over on what you offer and what your process is and what they need to do as far as next steps. All of that you'll need, regardless of whether you're going the direct lending route or the brokerage route. However, if you are doing the direct lending route, you're then going to need additional tools where you are going to be assessing, doing your underwriting process, assessing the real property, whether real estate or equipment that you're using to collateralize or secure that note. You're going to need those additional tools that when you're working as a broker typically will be taken care of and done through the lenders that you are using, so that you'll need to be able to calculate some quick top-level ratios, but you won't need that deep underwriting toolkit. In both cases, however, you will need a great CRM, a great digital management system for managing your entire company. At the Institute, we go ahead and we integrate into our CRM all of your communication platforms as well, so that your email, every email you send and receive, is going to automatically be appended to that particular contact, where you have all of your calendar items and your to-do list and your loan documentation and your entire pipeline graphically laid out. All of this in one place that becomes the dashboard of your business for a loan brokerage in your CRM. And it's equally critical to have that one single digital dashboard that's available on your phone or your tablet or your laptop if you're doing the direct lending model. You also are then going to be in a place where you can turn on your marketing and want to integrate that with your CRM. So when you are doing your marketing, that's going to be require a full strategy that identifies your niche, what channels they're using, what the best messaging is within those channels, and how you're going to get it out and publish it and get it in front of eyeballs. We have a number of other trainings and videos at the Institute on that, so definitely check those out if that's of interest. So, going back to steps, after you turn on your marketing and you start attracting clients, that's the point at which you're going to start having conversations. As you're serving clients, that's going to be the place where you are again diverging. If you are working as a loan broker, then you're going to be doing, just as we teach in the Institute, a quick assessment where you're getting all of the details on that particular borrower. At the Institute, we work across hard money, but many other types of financing. So you're going to be identifying which type of financing is the right fit for them, then which lender is going to be the right fit for them out of the hundreds in our network. And then from there, you're going to be contracting with them and connecting them directly with the lender to do the underwriting process. Alternatively, if you're doing the direct lending model, you're going to be doing a similar assessment, but you're working on a much smaller set of products. You're just doing hard money loans or bridge financing. And when you're doing that, you're going to do the assessment, and it's going to be more detailed because you're doing the full underwriting, right? So you're going to be looking at potentially some of their financials, also definitely a deep analysis on the collateral. So with all of that, you're going to be serving clients differently depending on which of the two models you choose. At the Institute, we help hard money lending companies launch day in and day out. And we are happy to share what we're seeing working in the industry right now. We offer free coaching sessions, and you can enroll in one of those through our website. Again, my name is Shane Walton with the Commercial Loan Broker Institute, and I wish you all the best in launching your new hard money company.